saga of the kryptonite life. When some of the days go wrong and then some of the days go right. Meaning life can make you weak, but we can walk you to the light. The life where dreams come true are just the nightmares of the hype. Where love and hate are roommates, pleasure and pain are friends. Peace and war and lovers, insane and insane are twins. Cause I want it all and nothing ain't enough for me. And all I need is love, but why y'all all up under me? Plus I would like to see every single lady's sex face. At the same time, man, I'm looking for my soulmate. I feel so religious, spirits living up above. But I gotta admit, I want my chariot with doves. And I could be your Superman and I could set you free. But honestly, I need the cash and I'm charging a fee. For my cigarettes and water, my fruit juice and my alcohol, my salads and my pork chop. I got high cholesterol. Lois said she loved me, then she hit me up for child support. Lex baby mama ain't gon' never take his ass to court. Got me in this nightclub, trying to get my mind right. When she bent over, I was looking at my whole life. So once upon a time on a planet called Earth, a man dug in his pockets just to see what he was worth. Well, rabbit ears were more than Eric B. and Rakim. Then the infinite power that he was holding within got him kinda confused, obligated, misused. Got in front of a microphone a couple times and he spewed his whole guts. Some of the things he loved and some of the things he lost. Some of the funky hate, some of the funky trust. And thus mixtape became an album. Your first installment has started. You're welcome. So what's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. As you can see the title, if you see the thumbnail, this is about generational wealth, or the conversations I've heard about generational wealth. I've been on Instagram just looking at stuff, and I use that like for inspiration for titles or whatever. But they have this one where it's a young brother, and I guess it's somebody that's his uncle. I think they got a YouTube page together, right? So they like talking about life and the difference between the generation, and the kid sounds delusional, Unc sounds mean, right? And then I saw a video, SWP made a video speaking about, like generational wealth or whatever. And I'm listening to it, and it just dawned on me that we got a lot of issues with delusion. And what I mean is this. So we have gone as a group from slavery to Jim Crow to, let's just say, the crack era to now. The truth is, us as a people, we've made a lot of progress. We've made a lot of progress, and we backslid on some things. That's true too. But what I see is this idea of generational wealth, and it's like, okay, I get it. You want it to be biblical. Like, if you did a good job, if you die and your children and your grandchildren inherit something, which I very much so understand, right? America had a hand in that not being possible. That's why we like to talk about the wealth gap, right? But then when I start hearing these conversations, it starts coming off like, oh, no. You want entitlements. You want somebody to work their whole life and think about you in particular and give you everything that they've worked for so you don't have to do nothing with your life. That's what's going on now. The baby movers did all the bad stuff. Okay, fine. Gen X, we ain't do enough. Okay, fine. Millennials, we inherited the bad system. Okay, fine. So what you want is, if the baby boomers die, they leave, because they're not really us Gen X parents. They leave millennials and zillennials. They leave, they leave. Well, maybe the boomers. Some of the boomers is our parents, depending on the age, whatever. But They leave you everything, and because I don't want to have to work. Working is so passe. I want to be able to do whatever I want. I just want to be able to travel and just play video games all day. And it's like, wait a minute, have we not? Y'all act like we haven't been down this road before. So let's actually live in some reality. Okay, for all of you people who are, even from boomers, Gen X, millennials, zillennials, let's deal with some facts. A lot of y'all, whether you like to admit it or not, you actually did inherit stuff. Some of your family members blew it. That's what happened. They've been houses passed down. They've been land passed down. Even, and I'm not going to say they're still not land grabs, because that's absolutely a thing. People have passed down money. People have passed down quote unquote heirlooms. People have passed down bonds, retirements. I've seen it I'm 45. I've seen this for years. And I've seen what a lot of y'all did with it. Yo, my daddy worked at the plant, or he worked he worked for GM for years. Okay, cool. He left me some money. Okay, I bought a luxury car. What? But then you turn around and you go, oh, you a millennial. I get you. And Nathan got passed down, because the people that's supposed to pass it down to you ain't dead yet. There you go. Normally they're not dead yet, because to get passed down something, that's usually your parents who pass it down. Your parents are the one who's supposed to pass it down to you. That's the truth. A lot of people's, like, I can even use myself as an example. My grandparents left stuff. All right, grandparents passed away. They left stuff, whether it be a house, whether it be money, whether it be I'm counting all four: money and money, house, money, and money. You get what I'm saying? But that's passed down. That would be passed down to my parents. Well, your parents normally, that's my mama, that's my daddy. That's what, for me, in my case, what I've seen just outside of me, that's what's happened. A lot of people, your great grandparents died, your grandparents inherited something, and your grandparents gave your parents something, and your parents just wasn't responsible with it. Or you can see people who weren't your parents, like your aunts and uncles, who were the, who your parents' siblings. They got stuff too, and they just effed it off. That's normally what happened. You get what I'm saying? That's what normally happens. So when you go, oh man, we have a generational wealth problem in America. We do. In Black America, we do. And then people go, financial literacy. It ain't financial literacy that's the problem. That's not the problem. It's people living, and I've talked about that before, the raisin in the sun mentality. If you ever read Raisin in the Sun, or you ever watched even the play or the movie, you remember the father passed away, left the mother stuff. The mother entrusted the stuff to the son, and he blew the money. And it was for all the kids. That was set in the 40s or something like that. I want to say like the 40s or something like that. So it becomes an issue. People have been leaving stuff for people, for the generations. Just people haven't been doing the right things with it. So that's the first issue. The second thing that I want to get into about, like, this generational wealth war, a lot of this is rooted in laziness. I'm not saying people shouldn't leave stuff for you, or people shouldn't set you up when they're gone. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, I've seen this play before, where people want somebody to leave them something, and they're not doing right in their lives right now. Or they're just waiting on somebody to give them something so they can kick their feet up. You get what I'm saying? Like, an inheritance is something that should be respected. A lot of people don't respect inheritance, no matter how big or small it is.
If somebody leaves you something, that, don't F it off. Oh, they only left me, 10 grand. I'm gonna go on some trips. I'm gonna buy some clothes, whatever. No. You effed it off. See, that 10 grand was your investment money, playboy. But you didn't want to invest. It ain't enough. Some people, like I said, some people got property. I don't really want that. Let me sell that and take the money and then, do what I want to do. Buy BS. Some people got money. Oh, I finally came up in the world. And here's the issue. If somebody works their whole life and before they die, they have you in mind to give you something, you should be respectful of that and grateful and actually do the right thing. The issue becomes a lot of y'all don't do the right thing. And I can't put that on, I say that's at this particular juncture, that's boomers and Gen X. Maybe some millennials, but they got to be the older millennials. So I'm not millennials and Gen Z millennials. I ain't putting that on them. They got a different issue. So like I said, their issue is entitlement. I've heard these things too many times. Oh, basically what you're saying is, my grandparents and parents worked, and I don't feel like I need to work. I mean, that's what generational wealth is. You're supposed to work, and my grandparents supposed to work, and they supposed to work so much that I just live off what they work for, and I do nothing. That's real life. And it's like, no, that's not real life. That's you actually being a jerk. Because the way y'all are coming off is, oh, I get it. First of all, y'all not having kids like that. So it ain't no grandparent. Y'all ain't gonna be the grandparents passing down anything. Everything stops with you. You get what I'm saying? Oh, my grandparents and my parents need to leave me stuff, but you don't have no kids though. But the other generations, ain't no other generations when it come to you. You always been about you, but I've been responsible and I've done it the right way. Don't mistake being responsible and being selfish as the same thing. That's where we have an issue. What's up, doc? That's where we have an issue, because people go, oh, I did everything the right way. And it's like, yeah, if you did everything the right way and you're the only one that's going to benefit off of the right way, then you didn't do things the right way. You didn't, because that means everybody invested in you and you invested in you. So after a while, all this investment is going to die. But hey, you feel like, hey man, at least I get to kick it. Ooh, I get to have a great lifetime. No, you don't. You shouldn't get anything at that point. Because too many of y'all want an inheritance just to kick it. Y'all don't want the responsibility of taking with that inheritance, whatever it is, growing that, building on that, and actually passing it down to somebody, to the next generations behind you. Because you don't want to have a next generation behind you, because you're selfish. You make all these lies up, and I'm gonna be honest with you. It's life is hard. It's so much going on, the economy, and I don't want to hear all that. And I'm gonna tell y'all why I say that. The reason why I don't want to hear all that is because y'all got no problem asking your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, your aunties and uncles for all kinds of stuff. Wow, inflation is high and the economy is bad, and everybody's going through it financially, but you ain't got a problem having your hand out though. You don't consider it being bad for them too, because hey man, that's what they here for. They supposed to give me stuff because they older than me. They should have it together. And sometimes that's the reason why some people are separated. A lot of times we act like it's a character thing. Yeah, but the character is on the wrong side. You think people have telling you no is a character issue. or they're selfish. You think people telling you no or moving away is a character issue because they're not being real. No, you don't know when to stop asking for stuff. And if you ask for stuff, you don't know how to give anything back. That's a character issue. If somebody got more than you and they giving to you, that's cool. But at some point, even though you got less than them, you got to give them something. Something. Like, what we talking about here? Now, the other thing. That's why I said it's the generational wealth war. Y'all got a bad habit of this. And I hear it all the time. Every time we talk about Black American money, what the white folks do, see, white folks do what the white folks and the white folks, because the white folks had the money of the money, and the white folks pass down the money and grow the money and flip the money and invest the money. No, they don't. No, they don't. You know, I grew up in what you would call a poor environment, and I lived in affluent environments. No, they don't. Stop. See, what y'all do is y'all take the best of the best of white people and make them all a white people, and you take the worst of the worst of Black people and make them all a Black people. You're not being objective at all. Because if the white people was doing all that, the white, why all these white people been struggling my whole life? The vast majority of these white people struggling for the same reason, because they bad with money. It's just the difference is, in a general sense, they have more of it than us, because they've got more breaks in life than us. Some people did set up business and they have nepotism, but that's why the businesses went under and they failed. The businesses couldn't sustain themselves because they had a bunch of idiots in the family who didn't know what they was doing. You know, that's what happened. But y'all got, white folks with generational wealth, and white folks, where they at? You don't see them. They're a minority of a minority. That's why even white folks call them the what? The 1%. Hate to break the news to you, but everybody, I want to be like them, and I want to be like, Don't, I ain't trying to hear it. Ain't trying to hear it. You know, y'all look at all white folks as Sam Walton's kids. Sam Walton is the man that created Walmart. He has 6 kids, and now they're multi-billionaires. Y'all think everybody is Bill Gates' kids, and even Warren Buffett gave his kids money while they're alive. But ironically, so did Ray Charles. A lot of people give their kids money. That don't mean people know what to do with it. And which brings me to my next point. Too many of y'all want generational wealth, but y'all don't know what to do with the money. No way. Y'all just want an infinite amount of money to F off until you figure it out. That's not generational wealth. Because I've known of enough people whose families had it, and they constantly invested in their kids or whoever, right? I'm gonna just say kids because that's how we use it. Kids or grandkids. And them kids was a waste of money. Them grandkids was a waste of money, because even the way the vast majority of them approached having generational wealth was, I got time to F up. Oh, I got this idea. Give me that money. F up. I got that idea. Give me this money. F up. I got this idea. Give me some money. F up. No. These people, they don't know. They play this, that's how you learn how to be an entrepreneur. No, you don't. You don't learn how to be an entrepreneur by getting money from other people and just effing it off to infinity. Because you never profit. You always just lose and run off. That's an issue. So when we're talking about some of this stuff, let's be honest. Do people owe people? Biblically, yes. But since we're going to talk about generational wealth, we got to talk about the whole thing, well, as much as possible. I ain't got to pontificate and go look at them, but don't look at me. No. We ain't got to do all that. Let's call some spades spades. What's the issue? What's one of the issues with generational wealth that I just said? Effing off money. So let me tell y'all what some of y'all generational wealth that y'all looking for went. And not just in somebody just bought a car or some jewelry. No. Let's talk about where it went also. Let's get the obvious one out the way. You got a screw up family member who's always in trouble. It went in lawyer fees. You know, that's a known stereotype, right? So some of your generational wealth went to that. Because your family decided to keep investing in the wrong person because every time they got in trouble, we got to help them. No, you don't. Let's go to the opposite side of that spectrum. Some of y'all invested in these kids in their college. And what did they do? Go to college and F up? Yeah, we don't talk about that part. That's the part that's not supposed to be spoken of. Some of y'all went to college, didn't finish, blew, you know, your family was sending you money, giving you money, gave you money for school. You know, sometimes they couldn't pay the whole thing off, but they put a lot of cash in you though. And what did you do? You effed it off. You effed off your time in school. Some of y'all, like I said, some of you failed out, got kicked out or whatever. Some of y'all just changed majors 50, 11 times and y'all really didn't do nothing. Some of y'all just decided, oh, it ain't for me, but forgot all the money that they put into you. Some of y'all, oh, I need an apartment and a car. I need money to shop, and I need money for this, and I need money for that. And you was just bleeding them dry, saying, because I'm doing the right thing and I'm getting an education, y'all should do right by me. And y'all really wasn't doing the right thing by them. It was just a free ride at the time. Y'all don't count that. Yeah, that's part of generational wealth. Then I got to go back to the entrepreneurial people who need to invest in this, invest in that, invest in this, give me money for this. And you was a consummate quitter. You always had these harebrained schemes that you didn't see through, but everybody had to give you money for it. We don't talk about the generational wealth. We forgot about that part. Oh, but let's take it a bit further. Let's take it a bit further. You know what some of y'all generational wealth went to? Went divorce. You want to talk about that? Can we talk about that? See, sometimes y'all forget people got divorced and they split up assets, and normally the dude had to pay. And normally what was happening was what? Mama was just bad with money. I got what I wanted. I'm out of here. I got this and I got this and I got this, and she just didn't do right with money. And that was your money too. And some of y'all, after a while, mama ran out of money or she was bad with it. And, you know, but what you did was you looked at your dad like, what you gonna do about it? You should have something set up for me. And it's like, half of what I had set up for you, your mama got. Wow, you asking me for the whole thing now? No, that's no. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. The other part, you could say child support. Yep. Some of y'all could have been good, Gucci, but people was bad with the child support money. You didn't need that amount of money every month for your life, but somehow not a dime of it was saved for you. But you don't go, you know what? It's everybody else's fault. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Now we're gonna have another issue. Because this is where the generational wealth thing gets an issue. People go, look, we go through the who had it worse Olympics. You know, my generation had it bad, your generation had it bad, your generation, this other generation, you ain't had it bad at all. But it's if I suffered more, I deserve more. And you go, well, no, if you suffered more, you're supposed to make it easier for me, so I'm not supposed to suffer. And it's like, here's where we have an issue. You can't say on one end, you know, let's just use the rap line, you wasn't in there shooting in the gym. You wasn't in there with me shooting in the gym, right? So that's what people are doing. People was like, I had all this adversity, I deserve something. And that's fair. And that's fair. And some of y'all go, well, I shouldn't have your adversity in life. So you shouldn't, that's part of your job. And in essence, that sounds fair, but here's the issue with that. You don't have the adversity that like I say millennials, Gen Z doesn't have as much adversity as baby boomers and Gen X. Y'all don't. I'm sorry, but you don't. Does it have to be the oppression Olympics or the who had no, it don't have to be none of that. But it is better for you, is the point. It actually is better for you than it was for us. But you want it more than it is. Like, I know it's better, but it should be way more better. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at some of y'all talk about this generational wealth thing. And I'm like, I can see the background of your house or apartment. That's better than your parents had. That's better than your grandparents had. What are you talking about right now? That's what we talking about. Like, no, I can't do the student loans, fam. I know what you're saying. I really do. But I can't do the student loans. The reason why I say, because I would say right now, too many people who have student loans, boy, this is gonna be messed. It might be controversial. A lot of people's student loans are self-inflicted, and what I mean is, I didn't think like this. I thought like this when I was younger. Don't get it twisted, But I get, but by my age, I was in a more fortunate time where school was cheaper, but at the same time, I was there when it exploded. And I realized the same issues that everybody else had. For one, people were going to schools for name. Some of y'all wanted to go out of state and you got hit. That's a you problem. If you went to college out of state and you had student loans, that's a you problem. Because now you made your education maybe 60% more expensive than it had to be. The second thing about that, I graduated college, so I could say this. Most of the people who was having student loans, they didn't have a sense of urgency. They didn't go, hey man, I need to get up out of here. I need to get up out of here. I can't. I'm gonna take, if it take 4 years, I'm gonna take 4 years. Or they don't do what people do now that play sports, that they go to every summer school and get out of there in 2.5, 3 years. They don't do that. So I don't know why they don't, but they don't. They don't play that. It's let me just ease on by. Because I remember they in the early 2000s, they started stretching out school from 4 to 5 years because people was playing around. I was gonna get to that. That's another issue. Kicking it. Spring break, all these events, your clothes. It was all on that quote unquote refund check. People was kicking it. And it's like, okay, you do realize, and let me tell y'all, you gotta understand, I've seen people take their refund check and buy cars, luxury cars at that. Like, I put this sucker on and put rims on them. That's how old I've seen people buy true story. Bought a Navigator in the 90s, because Navigator started in the 90s. The late 90s. Bought a Navigator and put some rims on it. Use a student loan check. I've seen people play the game where you know what, I got money to blow. Let me go to the casino with my my refund check. Lost their money. I've seen people, I'm taking every trip I can. I'm going to the mall. I'm flying here. I'm flying there. Why are you in school? Refund check. Crazy. chicks buying clothes and hair and bags. I'm like, why are you doing all this? So sometimes what happens with the student loans thing, more times than not that I've seen in my life, is people they were immature, and then they caught up to them. Because I haven't seen too many people who are adults who say, okay, man, the issue with my student loans is, it's way too much. But I was doing the right thing the whole time. I was doing the right thing. You got to do the right thing the whole time. But I was doing the right thing most of the time. I ain't seen that for the most part. I've seen people who knew that they was effing around, and they see them student loan checks, that student loan debt, and go, God. Because they can't remember all of the stuff outside of school that they spent their money on. They don't even remember. It's like, I can tell you what it was. Clothes, weed, trips, alcohol. You know what I'm saying? I had to get the newest phone. I had to get this phone and that phone and the Bluetooth stuff. Yeah. It's like, it's messed up. That becomes an issue. So people don't have as much sympathy for the student loans things. Frenchies every night. They just open the Frenchies. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't even eat fried chicken like that, but at some point I'm gonna go ahead to Frenchies. But so this other part of the generational war thing, you got to get to it. A lot of times, what I've noticed, because by my age, I know what it's like to watch your grandparents and great grandparents have a bunch of money on them, but they live really frugally so they can give you money. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that very much so. So what I've seen is, what happened was, you have people who are using generational wealth thing as somebody need to be the granddad or big mama who tones down their lifestyle so the kids and the grandkids can have stuff. They always got a pocket of money on them. Here, take this. They're living, the house paid off, the car paid off, but in all honesty, they're living, say, just upper poverty, lower middle class on purpose, right? But don't nobody want to be that person no more. They just want to delusionally, like, somebody got to make the sacrifice for everybody. It's like, no, somebody is not about to make the sacrifice for everybody. Because I've spoken about this before. What I know to be true is, a lot of I've seen a lot of older people do this. Like, the people who got it together, they know that they're dying, of course, because we all, they know, they're dying or whatever. They know they've already set up their life, they're already set up what goes off after their past, and they're good with it. Because it's like, look, I did my part. The problem becomes, people, let me back up. They're good with it, but they also tell you, if you're responsible, don't help those people. I'm gone. When I'm gone, don't help them. You do you, don't help them. See, a lot of this generational wealth stuff, sometimes they gave the right people money. More times than not, they gave the wrong people money. And this is one of the things that is overlooked. If somebody goes through, if somebody is mourning the loss of somebody, they're probably not going to be good with the money or the inheritance. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And that's not a shot. That's just a reality. Because let's just say, if it's you and your parents, your parents pass away, and when they pass away, you know, you dealing with that, and then the whole money and house and all that situation come. Some people could deal with that, but most people can't. Your dad's died, your mom's died, and now you sitting in the house and you can't be in the house per se because it's just too many memories and you're emotional. So people prey on you for being emotional while you're mourning. So some of y'all make rash decisions because I just can't, I just can't, I just can't, I just can't, I can't see this house. I can't stand it. Let me sell it. And that's how you F up too. You know, they left me some money. I'm trying to, I want my mama back. I want my daddy back. But you know, I got this money, but I'm spending money to pass the time because I don't want to deal with the loss. And then you mess it off, and then it's like, oh my God, it's too late. Like that's part of the problem too. And a lot of times we don't address it because, you know, sometimes I don't think we just have the empathy or understanding of that. You know, that's one of the major issues. We don't have the understanding of that process because you don't understand it because it ain't happened to you yet. You know, I just got to put that on the table. And even with the grandparents, like passing down wealth, grandparents, you know, have a thing where I gotta pass stuff down to my kids, and I expect my kids to pass stuff down to my grandkids. That's a normal process that usually the parents mess up. That's just part of that. But on the flip side of that is this. A lot of times grandparents pass away when the kids are too young to inherit things per se, or they're too immature to do the right things with them. So they don't even go that direction either. You get what I'm saying? Like sometimes the grandkids could be anywhere from I just anywhere from 7 years old to 27 years old. You get what I mean? A lot of just in my opinion, you know, I think my granddad passed maybe a couple of years ago, so I was 43, 42. You know, but all my other grandparents was dead, has been gone. I was 20s, teens, not even 10. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things. That yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's part of that too. You know, because sometimes that is that with those older houses, people don't understand that they're not up to code. But so that's a risk you got to take. Either you got to piece by piece rebuild the house, and that's gonna take some years. That's gonna take some years. You know, you gotta put insulation in the roof. You might need a new roof. You might need some new floors. You might need to redo the electrical system. You know, people are like, hey, yeah, you might have inherited the house, but you might need to put $50,000-$75,000 worth of work in the house. And sometimes people don't want to do that either. It's like, oh, let me just sell it. You know, for some people it's a good thing. For other people it's a bad thing. Like I've seen people who were bad on their timing. You know, yeah, look, trust me, I've been there too, fam. I've been there too. You know, that's another part of it. Like, you have some people who are so entitled that they're untrustworthy. You know, and let me, man, I don't even want to do this, but like you have some people who are vultures. So you got a family member that's gonna that you can tell they're on their last legs. They ain't got much time left, or they you can tell they may got a few years, a year or two, and then you got a family member that they really ain't done much with their life anyways, and I'm gonna take care of them. And normally I'm gonna take care of them means I'm gonna try to get power of attorney so I could be the first one to get everything, and I'm gonna steal everything. That's what that normally means. And that's a part of the generational wealth issue. You get what I'm saying? Oh, I took care of such and such, and I took care of, the parents, the grandparents, the aunts, the uncle. I'll take care of them in their last days. I'm sure you did. And you've had too many times where people have stolen an inheritance from somebody's children, their actual children, because they go, oh, and they last 2 years, I was their caretaker, so I'm gonna just, override all the 73 other years of their life when they was a parent and their kids. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Oh, okay. Then you have those fallouts, right? That's a true statement. So that's an issue. And some people, man, some people say put the money in the trust. I feel you. And I'm gonna say it. There are people who put money in. I've seen people die and have the money in a trust, so it can be doled out, monthly or periodically. And you know what I've seen most of the people do? Cash it out. Cause I just can't. I just need everything right now. I just gotta have it. I don't like these people having control over my money. It ain't your money. If somebody dies and they set up a trust for you, because that means they don't trust you with money, so they know the best thing to do is to let the trust pay you monthly or yearly, or what I'm saying, or quarterly. But a lot of y'all, that's why you used to see those annuities and annuity commercials. It wasn't just for J.D. Wentworth. We can give you cash right now. Yeah, because whatever trust you got, they could just roll it over into annuity, give you the cash and make money in long term off of it while you just blow it. That's what happens. I've seen people, good amount of money in the trust. And the trust is just, paying them out, maybe few $1,000s a month, and they just can't help it. I just gotta cash it out. I don't like it. Oh, okay. All right. And then they out of money. And then they looking around. I don't understand. They're like, I know you don't. I know you don't. But it does exist. Like when we talk about, financial literacy. Oh, all of that, all of the things that people swear to God that black people aren't doing, we do that stuff. And I've seen the other mishaps. Like I've seen far more people mess up an inheritance than actually do right with it. Like the only major story I can tell you inheritance right now is Master P. That's a damn shame. That's publicly, that's the only one I can tell you. It's the only one. But people don't put into perspective, like we like to say, okay, if you in the hood, if you poor and you get some money, you blow it, that's just hood mentality. But on the flip side, the people who grew up in affluent neighborhoods, they're just as bad. Because they don't have a respect for it either. They don't have a respect for their parents' money and their grandparents' money. They don't. They just they're entitled. It's my inheritance. It's what I deserve. And it's like, but they don't do nothing with it either. Hate to break the news to you. There are far more stories of people, doing bad with it than good. Me personally, and I've talked about this before. When it comes to generational wealth, I think what people have to do at this particular junction is be smart in the sense of, I know who I'm not going to give money to. I mean, if you bad with money, I'm not giving you nothing. That's what's going to happen. Or, or people going to have like irrevocable trust where, say that the parents go, like the grandparents go, the parent, my kids, you're straight. I'm not giving you nothing because I've done enough for y'all. I'm gonna put this money in the trust for the grandkids, and they won't be able to get it for a particular time period. Like in using it as an example, right? And it's a weird example to have to use, but it just popped into my head. If you've ever watched the show Power, the one, Ghost and Tommy, there's a lot of people like Tasha and Tyreek. Dad dies, leaves everybody some stuff, but we just gotta F it all off. We just got to, and wind up with really nothing. You can't say, like, a lot of people feel like, and I feel like this. There are a lot of people who are watching older people act irresponsibly and go, oh, when they die, I ain't gonna get nothing from them, so I don't like them. And the truth is, you have no idea what they had planned for you. And what y'all say is irresponsible. And sometimes these are people who work, 40, 50, 60 hours a week for decades. So when you see them kicking it, that's when they got time to kick it. And if you don't like them when they kicking it, that's a you problem. All you do is kick it. All you do is have your feet up. You ain't doing right by nobody right now. Oh, I saw my parents drinking, and my aunt and uncle, acting a fool. They're irresponsible. Nigga, the same aunt and uncle that got to pay for you to be in AAU, and you don't even go to practice all the time. That's the same aunt and uncle. The same aunt and uncle and parents that's buying you stuff. I need this and I need that and I need this and I need that. And you've been wasting your damn time in your life, and they watching you just F it up. No. So a lot of y'all just don't have a respect for work. So now it's like, that's an issue. Chilling 24/7 will lead to poverty. And this idea that, we got to look out for everybody to the point where we have generation of people who just live off of, great granddad's money. That's not a good thing. That's how you wind up like Paris Hilton. And the people go, well, they got money though. Their kids ain't gonna have money. Because you got to remember, they can't take over the family business. And they just walk around kicking it and kicking it and kicking it and kicking it and kicking it. Most of the times they're not learning anything. Then you have a bunch of kids, a bunch of grandkids. That's why a lot of these family businesses have died off, because what? People normally don't want to take over the family business. They want to do whatever they want to do afterwards. And that's fine. But people want generational wealth, but you got to understand, basically you want somebody going to work their lifetime, get a bunch of money, give it to you. You're going to go do whatever you're doing with your life. And then when you die, you're supposed to give that money to somebody else. But this is the problem in society right now. Y'all don't want to give nothing to nobody. A lot of y'all don't even have life insurance. So if there's nobody to pass anything on to, because I'm just doing me. And I can tell. I can tell. Because y'all don't think, because a lot of y'all young, and I'm talking about people my age and younger, right? It's something maybe a little older, but most, like you got people in their 50s ain't thought about retirement. You got people in their 40s ain't thought about life insurance. You got people in their 30s ain't you know what I'm saying? Ain't thought about actually buying real estate. You got people in their 20s just like, I'm young, and y'all don't get this. This is gonna add up, Playboy. Like, and that's another issue. What's up, Unc? And that's the issue that people are having now. Because what I see, even with this generational wealth, is let me put it this way: you can have a responsible person who's grinding and hustling and watches over the family and is like, yeah, Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna look after this. I got it all planned out. For this person, they're gonna get this person, they're gonna get that. But you gotta understand something. The same person that you want to watch over the family and protect the family long term and pass down wealth to the family long term, they're watching the family too. They're watching you just kick your feet up and go, you know, mama got it, daddy got it, aunt got it, aunt got it. Like, I'm not giving you nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's gonna go. I'm not giving you nothing. I've been watching you since you was, 8 years old, and you wasn't cleaning your room. You was in school as a teenager. You didn't want to go to school. You didn't. Some of you went to college. You blew it. Some of you, I'm gonna go to trade school. Didn't go. Some of y'all just was, just aimlessly going around as adults. I'm gonna find my way and figure it out. Oh, okay, so you just gonna aimlessly walk around and find your way and figure it out. I'm supposed to die and leave you a nest egg. No, absolutely not. That's what's wrong with our people. We don't look out for each other. You don't look out. You ain't looked out for yourself. Why the hell somebody else needs to look out for you? You want to see, a lot of times, this is what people not getting. A lot of people, even when it comes to like passing down wealth and passing down inheritance, you got to understand something. We've gotten to a point where people are looking like, I'm not going to die and give nothing to your lazy ass. So you can say, is there something wrong with our people? No. Or I'm not going to die and give nothing to your selfish ass. You ain't done nothing for nobody your whole damn life. But I'm supposed to die and give it to you? Who you going to do something for? Nobody. Nobody. Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, people want to get, like, what people want is the silver spoon Olympics. See, I got the bronze spoon, and they got the silver one, and it's only right that somebody that they get the gold spoon, and that gold spoon means they could do nothing for life. You know how disrespectful you got to be to have that mentality. That your parents or your grandparents owe you to not do nothing for life. Like, I ain't never got to get a job. I could just walk around and I could just backpack the planet. No, hell no. You disrespectful. You disrespectful. If I want to get on a plane, I can fly here and fly there, and I can do this and I can go here and I can go there because my parents worked so hard. That means, like, even if you became a parent, because this is another part that we don't talk about. A lot of y'all don't put two and two together. The reason why they say we constantly gotta get it out the mud, and generations have to, start from scratch. A lot of times what happened was, and you don't want to hear this, your grandparents were hardworking people who gave your parents stuff, but your parents were spoiled. And your parents had kids, but they were spoiled and selfish. So your parents were so selfish that they took everything for themselves and didn't give nothing to you, and then threw you out there on your own with nothing. That's what happened. It wasn't your grandparents did look out for you, but they looked out for you, but it went through your parents. And then you became hardworking because you had to get it out the mud, and you thought, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. My kids ain't gonna never have to go through what I went through. And guess what? You became your grandparents. And guess what your kids gonna be? Your selfish ass parents. That's why you got so many. It doesn't dawn on y'all when you see these adults out here. They're grown, but they're really childish because they expect somebody got to give me something. Somebody owe me something. They got an entitlement, like everybody owes them, or they deserve something. I'm a good person, so I deserve this. You're a beggar. You're not a good person. You're just a beggar. You become what was that movie Jennifer Hudson was in? Dreamgirls, when she was playing Neffy. That says, I can't sing, I can't do nothing, I ain't gonna do nothing. All I know how to do is sing. So I can't take care of my baby because all I know how to do is sing. And if don't nobody give me a contract, we just gonna suffer. You become that. That's what happens. What we really need is a hardworking, responsible generation that are parents and their children become hardworking and responsible, and then they teach their children to be hardworking and responsible. That's how you have generational wealth. Because once you spoil these kids, you can kiss that generational wealth goodbye. That's why you hear that phrase, dad, my granddad walked, my dad drove a car, you know, I had a better car. No, the grandchild has a Ferrari, and then the next generation walks again. That's why you hear that. You know, that's why you hear that. Because what winds up happening is they don't care about anybody else. So yeah, we got a generational wealth war. But right now, just in my opinion, the people who want generational wealth to be passed down, they don't deserve shit. I'm gonna just be honest. They don't deserve shit. A lot of y'all families invested in y'all heavily. They didn't get a return on investment with your bum ass. Let's just be real. Some of y'all had kids and your family taking care of your damn kids, but you want generational wealth. But you keep calling them honey. So you had kids, you getting child support, or you paying child support, and they taking care of your kids too. Like, bruh, get out of here. They need to look out for me. They are looking out for you right now. They are. Some of y'all, like I said, it's the flip side. Some of y'all actually, y'all feel like y'all did things the right way and y'all responsible. Some of y'all went to school, got an education, got a good career, but guess what you don't do? You don't have no damn kids. And they know you don't have, and you ain't trying to have kids. You play the life's got to be perfect for me to do anything, and your ass gonna be around 43, 44, 45, 50, still talking that bullshit. Well, I'm not. I never got married. I'll never have kids, and that's why I have save my money. And it's like, motherfucker, you had 50-11 relationships this whole time. You just made up bullshit reasons to break them all off. Because honestly, you selfish. I'm grown. Like you think I ain't ran across people who play the game that I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. But they say it's because of people. But in reality, it's because they've always been a self-centered person. Because you can't be in a relationship because you can't be with another person because it ain't all about you. You don't want to have kids because if you have kids, it ain't all about you. So you're not being slick. But then you go, oh, we don't have to, we're not passing down generational wealth to who? And some of y'all chicks, some of y'all motherfuckers play that game too. I'm gonna give my nieces and nephews everything. Nigga, that ain't your kids. Play boy, play girl. I'm gonna be rich auntie. No, you just stupid auntie. That's what you is. I'm gonna be the uncle that take care of everybody. Why? Why did you have kids of your own? You think you slick. That's what you're trying to get over now because it dawned on you. I'm gonna teach them, how to be like me. No, nigga, you not. You don't have that kind of influence over them like you think. Your nieces and nephews might love you, but you ain't their parents. That's just the reality of it. And you can't, invest in your nieces and nephews because some of y'all trying to invest in your nieces and nephews and diss they damn parents. See, your mama and your daddy, they like this, but I'm looking out for you. Nigga, that ain't gonna help you. They gonna look at you sideways. If you feel this way about my parents, then I don't know why the hell you over here. I'm gonna just use you now. Cause you think I'm gonna be your project because you didn't have kids. I don't think so. That's what happens too. Oh yeah, man, it's just, we're gonna have generational wealth. Let's pass down this real estate. To who? To who? To who? You need to invest in this and invest in this and invest in that. Stop it. Stop it. And here's the other thing. And I'm gonna say this, and it's got to be said. And I'm glad some of this stuff is phasing out, because social media had this prosperity thing that's been going on. If you got an 800 credit score and you got this kind of credit, and you got a business line of credit and this line of credit. A lot of y'all thought generation. I don't know how you thought generational wealth and credit went together. I really don't. I don't understand. Yeah, either you're stupid or a scammer. Oh, what I'm saying? I got this, I got this credit and this credit. And I listen to Grant Cardone and Robert Kiyosaki and there's bad debt and good debt. Stop it. They're talking about multi-million-dollar properties that are cash heavy. That's what they talking about. That's what they talking about. All right. So you think I got a good credit score? A lot of y'all want to pass down generational debt to somebody, but you want to talk about generational wealth. You crazy than a mother. This is where we're at. Like, y'all need to stop looking at it this way. Generational wealth is either is a business that's profitable, property, that's paid off, and cash and assets, that can actually be sold. You can call them heirlooms, but like actual, let's just say like classic cars or jewelry or shit like that, like good jewelry and shit like that. Like the assets or bonds, people used to call it T-bills and all that other shit. That's what that is. But y'all playing these games, credit to generational wealth. No, no. That's where you got a problem. And then we got, boy. Well, there's no nice way to say this, so I might as well just say it. It ain't. Thank you, life insurance. Let me just cut to the chase on this, and I should have said this earlier, but I didn't want to be trifling. So let me tell y'all where a lot of y'all generational wealth went to. Sex. That's right. That's what happened. Sex. A lot of y'all some of y'all been spending money to get some thick chick, or y'all been spending money to get your back blown out. So y'all don't want, we don't want to talk about that part. Like, oh yeah, what happened to my inheritance? Yeah, you remember when they was trying to, holler at all these people, and they felt like they got their swagger back. Yeah. They spent the gang of that money just trying to get an orgasm. That's what happened. That's why they bought the cars. That's why they bought the new clothes. Right now, let's play. That's why they used to have the term of midlife crisis. That's why people, Vivica Fox age with a BBL and shit. Man, appreciate you. That's what that is. That's why some even it can be looked at even with the passport bro thing. Sometimes let me fly here, let me smash something. That's what that is. That's being a cougar or a MILF. That's some of y'all inheritance went into that. We made jokes years not too long ago about she bought him a PlayStation 5. Yeah. With the inheritance, Playboy. Because people got old, they got lonely, or sometimes they inherited money young and they wanted attention. You know, oh, look at me, I bought some designer. Uh, I bought $1,000 shirt and $1,000 pin. Like that's where that's what that goes into. People want sex. They want attention for sex. So they spend money frivolously. And y'all don't think about it like, man, we ain't got no generational wealth. You remember when you was buying them Chrome Heart jeans, them Ed Hardy jeans, them, that when Fendi was in style, when Balmain was in style, you bought some Gucci, you wanted Louis Vuitton, you wanted red bottoms, you wanted all that. You see what I'm saying? You want all these little bags and belts, and you want a Ferragamo and all that other shit. Yeah. You don't even wear that stuff no more. You don't even know what true religion. Yeah, you don't know what half of that stuff is now. Why was I paying $300 for a pair of jeans? Because you stupid. Buying Cartier shades and knockoff Cartier shades. Like, I bought me some jewelry. Okay. Because you stupid. You bought it for what? I bought this car and I traded it in for that one and I traded it in for that one. Yeah. Stupid. Just dumb shit. But y'all don't want to talk about that part. That's part of where your generational wealth went. Trying to get bucket naked and the nude. But because a lot of times, let me say it. If y'all actually knew where your generational wealth went, that you'll be more peed off. You'll be more pissed off about where it went than the fact that you didn't have it. Because a lot of the times somebody had it. The majority of the time somebody had something to pass down to you. It just didn't get to you. That's the reality of it. Like if you were, and even for the people who've got it, I've seen people, parents and grandparents, the grandparents leave them stuff, and you look at them like, how did you fuck that up? Like how? Like how did you fuck that up? And they really don't have an answer. Because and it's no nice way to get about this. To have a plan for multiple generations of family is a daily grind and a responsibility. You got to understand, the vast majority of people don't want that responsibility. The vast majority of people don't care about their family like that. Their kids and their grandkids are like that. To actually plan for them to have, they need a future. I need to give them something to start with. Because it's not, and when I say they don't care like that, what I mean is they don't care enough to make sacrifices to plant trees that they'll never eat from. Because it's like, why? That, like, people have gotten trees planted for them that they've eaten from, that they'll kill the tree before they pass it on. You know what I'm saying? They'll kill the tree before they pass on any of the fruit. And then when somebody say, well, plant another one, plant one for everybody else. I ain't doing that. I gotta plant it and, take care of it and water it and watch it grow and make sure it makes it to. I ain't doing all that. Forget all that. Y'all could do it. It's like, oh, wow, that's what we on. But it is what it is at this point. Yeah, selling K. It's crazy. It's crazy. But let me see what time. It's almost 8:00. Let me get my behind up out of here, man. I wanted to speak that because I think it's necessary. I think it's very, very necessary that we understand that, they're as a group, as a race of people, we've actually got it more together than we give ourselves credit for. We always like to compare the white folks and what about the Mexicans? You know, the Hispanics do this and everybody do this. It's like, yeah, I hear you. But you got to understand something. People play this game where black people make it and we isolate ourselves and we have survivor's remorse. Not so much. Even black people who are well off and who've quote unquote made it, they've invested a lot of money and a lot of family and friends. They just have a bad habit of investing in the wrong people, and they've lost a lot of money with other. Let me rewind this. Let me take this back for a second. When we talk about money and generational wealth, and when people go, what the white folks do with the money, do you know how many black people who have money got scammed by white people? And and the reason why you don't have generational wealth is because some white people stole it. Because people believe that, but if do what the white folks tell you, the white folks know what they're doing, and that's what they come along and they do that. Hey, black rich guy, I'm a white folks, and this white folks know what to do with money, and just give me your money, and I promise you, I'll quadruple it. And it's like, I don't know where the money went. Yeah, you trusted the white dude that just said, hi, trust me. You've never met me a day in your life, but now that you got money, I know what to do with it. Cut it out. What's up, Mahogany? So it becomes an issue that we don't deal with because y'all don't know where the generational wealth is, and y'all don't find out until and let me yeah. It's talk to him, and here's the other thing. So many times, a lot of y'all don't know what goes on in succession. And succession is when somebody dies, and it's basically the will reading, right? See, if somebody dies, and like say there's your grandparent dies, and you and your grandparent had a good relationship or a great relationship, and you're not invited to the will reading. Oh, that's because somebody finna screw you. So just understand that. That's why, since you want to believe what the white folks do, that's why when you see the movies of the white people who die, they have the whole family there for the will reading, so people know exactly what they're supposed to get. Because normally, the parents, your aunts and uncles, they go to the will reading by their damn self, and they don't tell their own kids, oh yeah, granddad and grandma left you this. No, they keep that shit, and they act like nothing ever happened. Yeah, talk to them. No, I can't even, like, you're right about, even with, that's why I'm talking about succession right now, because even the people with wills, that's a generational wealth problem too. Yeah, I appreciate you bringing it up. Like, people don't have a will, that's a problem, definitely a problem. And then the people who do have a will, your ass gonna fight so much, you gonna fight so much that but here's the irony. Okay, Chadwick and Prince didn't have kids. You get what I'm saying? I think the wife wound up being pregnant at the end. I think but two of those people didn't have kids. But let me get back to the succession part and the will. There are a lot of people who you lose your generational wealth because siblings are arguing so much about the will. Y'all do. Hey, I get. Hey, let me shut my mouth on that. Then let me apologize about that. Yeah, hey, you ain't gotta check me. I understand. I'm gonna talk about this and I'm gonna move on. Yeah, right. Got you. But I've seen more. I've seen more times siblings, fight over the will, to the point where the state and the lawyers get everything because they just pieced it down because they fighting so much. So even with a will, y'all argue too much. If your parents say this person get this and this person get that, stop fighting and go, I want this, and how come they get that. It's a crazy part. You know, one. Ooh, yeah, that sucks. Hey, baby. Hey, you gotta pay respect where respect is due. That's all. I'm just saying that you do it for a living. I'm just talking right now. So I got to take a step back and hey, Alonzo got this. My bad. I ain't got a problem with defaulting, to people with more experience than I. But saying that, let me get my experienced ass up out of here in a second. But the goal of this is just to say, at the end of the day, there's going to be a war for the wealth, but it's a lot going on, and people are not being completely honest. So I'm just, this is to talk about all the things that aren't necessarily talked about. Because people are really scamming and they ain't lying about it, and they're not telling the truth about it. But I'm gonna get out of here. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
This looks like a job for Superman.
Do this.
Spoken from the lips of the young or the old, fear of me.
Yeah. Gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way.
I guess I'm taking off the cape through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took a break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, plus when I walk I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the Kings of Neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with Freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you still follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound, but I can't stand farewell to friends and I just fly around. My super friends in Justice League, only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what, we had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And me, I play to win, but I ain't playing in these streets. And life is not a joke, then again it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite, life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it.
Lois, come holler at me. I got an iced couch. Thank you. Coming out, listening. I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly.